Justice is important. Righteousness is important. Not committing sin is important. Adultery is wrong. And you, man, it's not what you care about. You care about getting rid of me. Throughout the Gospels, here we're broadening out to the basis. Throughout the Gospels, Jesus' stand against this kind of thing in the Pharisees comes up again and again. Let me give you a few examples. Matthew 9:13, Jesus says to them, "Go learn what this means. I desire mercy and not sacrifice." And he said that to them when they were criticizing his disciples for picking grain and eating it on Saturday. Law-breaking. He says, in this amazing quote from Hosea, "Go learn what this means. I desire mercy and not sacrifice." Like, if you understood the Old Testament, you wouldn't use the law like that. Or, we've seen this one just a couple of weeks ago, John 7:23. If on the Sabbath a man receives circumcision, this is Jesus talking now to the crowds. If on a Sabbath a man receives circumcision so that the law of Moses may not be broken, are you angry with me because on the Sabbath I made a whole man's body well? Why would you do that? What kind of a law-keeping people are you? That you could get the circumcision right here. We'll even do it on Saturday if we have to. But healing a whole man by one word, that can't happen on Saturday. What? Kind of a crazy use of the law is that? And Jesus is just drawing that out. This is what's happening in this story as well. You can see why probably Metzger and Carson say has the ring of truth. It looks like something that would happen just like this. Okay. Verse, I didn't write it down. You can find it. End of the text. Neither do I condemn you. Go, and from now on, sin no more. Neither do I condemn you. He did not say, neither do I condemn you because adultery doesn't matter. He didn't say, neither do I condemn you, so what you do next doesn't really matter because there is therefore now no condemnation. That's not what he said. He said, go and sin no more, which is also found in chapter 5, verse 16, verse 14. Remember when the man was healed and he came and found Jesus, and Jesus said, you're well. Now see that you don't sin again. Another ring of truth. I think what Jesus is saying is this: I am re-establishing your holy life, my friend. I'm building it again. You threw it away in adultery. I'm building it again. Don't want you to commit adultery anymore. So go. I'm sending you away not to commit adultery anymore. But here's the difference, woman. I have just put it on a new foundation, my grace. Do you hear this, woman? I'm not lessening the command to you. Don't do this again. But now I have just forgiven you totally. Which is why I say this is exalting Jesus big time. Which is why they would love this text, want to preserve this text over against the Pharisaic mishandling and the misunderstanding of Jesus. Woman, I am rebuilding justice. I'm rebuilding righteousness. I'm rebuilding holiness. And I'm building it on grace. You You have to have an experience of grace in your life before you can pursue not sinning. If you try to pursue not sinning without an experience of amazing grace, what do you get? Pharisaism. That's what you get. You get heartless misuses of the law. You get hypocrisy through and through. You get moralism. So he's not saying the law had a bad idea when it told people not to sleep together except when they're married. That's a good idea. That's right. That's God's way for us. But it doesn't mean anything to God ultimately if you stay out of bed with no grace in your life, no experience of sweet forgiveness. And imagine what she must have tasted in this story. Really, I was just about to be horribly killed. I don't know if you saw the movie The Stoning of Soraya M. It was horrible. If you've ever watched or imagined what a stoning is, buried up to here in the ground with her hands tied behind her back and rocks this big hurled at your face. She was just about to taste this horrific death, and they're gone. No condemnation. And until you taste that for your sin, you're about to be stoned in hell, and now it's not going to happen. Now you have a whole different reason for not sleeping with the girlfriend, boyfriend, other man's wife, husband. Your life is built on a whole new foundation. I love this story. And it's true. It's a true story. Meaning the lesson in it is exactly what Jesus would want us to see. Whether it happened or whether it belongs in this gospel or not. So let me end like this. The story points us to the entire message of the New Testament. I don't have to base the point of the story on the story and thus leave you with a wobbly foundation tonight. You shouldn't have a wobbly foundation for this point. God is speaking here, and this story is illustrative. It's a pointer. It's an echo. It's not the foundation of this sermon. It's an echo of the authority of the Bible, which from cover to cover is designed that Jesus come into the world to put holiness on a foundation of grace. That's the point of the Bible. Be holy, for I am holy. But don't pursue this holiness until you have heard the words, neither do I condemn you. That's the point of the Bible. To the glory of God. So very simply, you know, when I said, I have one more sentence before I give it to you. When you heard me pray, 30 minutes ago, when it was, 40 minutes ago, I have impossible desires, and you're the God who's able to do the impossible. What I meant was, could somebody get saved here in a sermon like this? I feel like I don't like preaching like this. I don't want to spend 3/4 of a sermon talking about scholarly stuff. That's not what preaching is. Could you do that? Maybe. Yes, you can. Will you? You out there watching this, or Sunday morning, downtown, south, downtown, tonight, north. So my last sentence is, come to Jesus for grace and set your face to sin no more. Come to Jesus for grace wherever you are on your spiritual mess up. And go and set your face to sin no more. Let's pray.